So you did it. You found the perfect house, your offer just got accepted, you should be popping champagne, right? But instead, there's this little voice in your head, and it's starting to get loud. Well, today, we are going to pull back the curtain on that super common but rarely discussed feeling.
It usually starts with just one simple question, a little flicker of doubt, and all of a sudden, that excitement you felt, it's kind of clouded by this uncertainty. You start replaying every single step you took to get here. And then, boom, the big one hits, the question that cuts right to the heart of the whole thing. What if something better was just around the corner? What if you've made a huge, irreversible mistake? That feeling right there, that pit in your stomach when you know you should be thrilled, guess what? It is incredibly common. See, when you make a decision this big, your brain has this natural defense mechanism to just second-guess everything and hit the panic button. Think of it like a built-in safety check. Yep, this is exactly what we're talking about today. That post-purchase panic that can make you question absolutely everything. And here's the good news right up front. You are so far from alone in feeling this. The official term for this feeling? Buyer's remorse. It's that wave of regret or anxiety that just washes over you after you've committed. And look, it can happen with a new pair of shoes, for sure, but it feels a whole lot bigger when it's a house. But here's the thing. This isn't just some random feeling that comes out of nowhere. There's actually a real psychological reason your brain is doing this. So let's get into the science behind all that second guessing. So what is actually happening inside your head during this mental tug-of-war? It's not just random anxiety, not at all. Psychologists have a specific name for this state of internal conflict that kicks in right after we make a major choice. It's called cognitive dissonance. Yeah, it's a fancy term, but all it really means is that uneasy feeling you get when you're holding two conflicting ideas in your head at the same time. In this case, it's the excitement of buying a home clashing with the sheer terror of the commitment. And this right here is that conflict in action. On one side, your rational brain is saying, hey, we've made a huge, well-considered decision. But your emotional brain is lagging way behind, basically screaming, wait a minute, are we sure about this? That internal clash is cognitive dissonance, plain and simple. Okay, so this feeling doesn't just show up randomly. It actually tends to spike at very specific, really high-stakes moments during the whole home buying journey. These are the big ones, the key moments when that panic loves to spike. First, right after your offer gets accepted and the whole thing suddenly feels real. Then it can flare up again during the home inspection, when you're literally just focused on flaws. It often hits again when that mortgage commitment lands, and yep, it usually makes one last dramatic appearance right before you sit down to sign at closing. Okay, so we know what this feeling is, we know when it happens, but the most important part is what you can actually do about it. So let's get into the toolkit for managing all this doubt. All right, this is the crucial point, so listen up. Buyer's remorse is not a stop sign. It is not a giant red flag telling you to back out. You have to think of it as just another stage in the process, like the appraisal or the negotiations. It's something you navigate, not something you let completely derail you. So how do you actually work through it? Okay, step one, talk it out. Seriously, voicing your fears to your agent or a trusted friend can really help you separate the legitimate concerns from the irrational panic. Step two, revisit your why. Go back to that original list of must-haves that made you fall in love with this house in the first place. And finally, number three, just give it some time. This anxiety, it often fades as you stop thinking about the transaction and start actually imagining your new life in your new space. If you only take away one thing from all of this, please let it be this final, really reassuring point. This feeling is normal. It absolutely does not mean you made the wrong choice. It just means you made a big choice and your brain is taking a minute to catch up. It's a feature, not a bug, of the whole home buying experience. Just let that sink in for a second. Pretty much everyone feels this to some degree. You are not the first person to doubt a massive decision, and you definitely won't be the last. You are simply moving through a predictable emotional stage, and you will get to the other side.